All right, friends, it's T-Man. We are back with a brand new video. And we're going to do another video on Jason Blaha, a reaction video to the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, Jason Blaha. Blaha says, slow progress is not a stall. Um, slow progress is stall forever, yes.
Slow progress is absolutely not a stall or a
Okay, what kind of progress? What's he talking about? Muscle so that you could get permanently strong, or you want to maintain some kind of phony strength called motor units, man. Jesus, and androgen receptors.
plateau in the gym. Hey, everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. This is a topic that creates a lot of confusion because so many people have run novice programs out there. They've run linear novice programs such as starting strength, strong lifts, any of the ones that I've put out over the years. The first one I actually put out in 2012, so it's been 12 years ago. It got published in 2013. Muscle and strength. So you see all these linear programs for novices, and it creates this false idea in people's head that progress should always be continual and measurable on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis for the rest of your life. And the reality.
Boy, man, there's no progress for the rest of your life. You're already losing muscle after 25. It's going downhill. You stop growing, and then that's it. Man, you know that apparently, according to science, they've done tests and they say that you're losing muscle. Well, I can't say that for sure. Is that people on a fake diet? Is that people eating their natural food as carnivores, meat? Or are you partaking into eating drugs all the time? And maybe that's the cause of the myogenic decline or the decline in muscle mass. I don't know, man. You understand me? The tests, the way that humans don't know anything, and they do tests, but they didn't tell you what these people were eating or what they were doing or what was affecting them. You understand me? So it's complicated. I don't know. I do know this, though. You stop growing at 25. If you stop growing, then you stopped aging. You stop aging at 25. You don't age anymore. You don't age after the age of 25. Now, if you say you look old, that means you've deteriorated. You look like old, something old. I don't know what that means, but you haven't aged. You've deteriorated, so it gives you a look like you've aged. You understand me? That's why people who've been eating meat all their life, growing up and eating meat, they don't look like they aged, like that Lu Chu guy, the Korean guy. He looks 25 at 57. You understand me? So people are upset with him. Because why? Because he didn't eat drugs like the rest of them, eating a slave diet. You've been fed a slave diet, you don't realize it, and it's caused you to deteriorate. So you look terrible. You should be looking like you're 25, really. You stopped aging at 25, but every time you turn on these growth factors, and what turns on growth factors? What Blaha keeps promoting. He says, well, you need to increase insulin because it's anabolic and all this kind of stuff. Every time you eat these drugs and they increase insulin, you're growing. And every time you're growing, guess what happens? You age. You're aging, or you're deteriorating. Let's just put it that way. You're aging. You are aging because you're growing and you're deteriorating at the same time. See what I mean? So this is actually counterproductive, this whole lifting slave thing, that he's enslaved himself in this garage lifting weights, man-made weights. Let me make some weights and let me enslave myself to these weights and pretend I'm strong. I'm gonna get strong and all this kind of stuff, or whatever the hell he's doing there, man. It isn't based on regeneration. It isn't regenerative. Anything that is, look, man. Things that are based on regeneration, they can only happen periodically. It's not something you're doing all the time. You understand me? You don't swim all the time, do you? Do you go swimming every day? No. But oh, I can't miss a workout day though. Oh my God, God forbid, right? You know what I mean? I don't know people that play hockey every single day. Well, then there are some kids out there, they are gung ho in the wintertime. They want to go play ice hockey in the nighttime after they go to school or whatever the hell they're doing there. But they do take some time off, a lot of time off in between. It's not like every single time. You know what I mean? And anyway, swimming is seasonal. Here, I mean, okay, you could go to indoor pools, but the majority of people, they go in the summertime swimming, and then the rest of the year they're busy with other things, and they might even go ice skating, you know. But do you go ice skating every single day? You see what I mean? Do you do these things every day? You do them periodically, man. You don't do them all the time. But like this guy, he does lifting every single day, which is this is not normal. This is some mental illness. To be lifting weights every single day is a mental illness.
Is that's simply not true. And just because you haven't added weight to the bar or reps for a little while does
This is absolutely a sickness.
not actually mean that you have truly plateaued.
Look at this guy, man. This is mental illness. This is a sickness. If you haven't added reps, you hit a plateau. Man, I don't know. Have you?
Okay, and people again get really confused by this idea, and it comes back to that fact that, you know, when everyone ran starting strength or my original ice cream fitness 5x5, you know, they were putting 5-10 pounds on lifts every single week. You know, I had people.
Yeah, you want to know what this strength is really? Look, man. It's a artificial. It definitely is artificial. So number one, you want to go to motor unit. Now I've done this already on one of his videos. I brought up another one. I'll bring up this is another one by PubMed. Okay, shorter version. So the motor neuron part of this review deals with the changes in recruitment and firing rates of the motor unit types upon changes from physical inactive life to endurance or strength training. Listen to what they say. Endurance and strength training. There you go. The muscle fibers react to prolonged exercise by adaptation. Listen to what they say. The muscle fibers react to prolonged exercise by adaptation to a higher level of performance. Performance. This adaptation is based on performance. It isn't based on building muscles because muscle has an M&D size limit. It too is based on an adaptation process. When muscle damages, it repairs and remodels stronger, so it's resilient from any more damage, so it won't grow anymore. That's why you say, I reached the genetic limit, my newbie gain limit, I'm a hard gainer. You understand me? Your instincts wouldn't be wrong again. All right. So a matter of discussion is the prerequisites for transformation between the basic muscle fiber types, yeah, slow twitch and fast twitch, during voluntary transynaptic activity, which is demonstrated after artificial nerve stimulation. Listen to what they tell you here. Artificial nerve stimulation. See what I mean? You are stimulating these nerves artificially because you're lifting something. You're moving objects around. It's artificial. It's being stimulated artificially. It isn't natural. See what I mean? And so everything you're doing is artificial. Even they mention it in science, and that's how it adapts. So yeah. Do I need to read more of this? Not really. Whether this is solely the result of an increase in size of individual fibers or an increase in fiber number is a controversial matter. The increase in strength as the result of high resistance training is mainly the result of increased muscle cross section. Well, it definitely, if you're not getting bigger, but you're getting a stronger. See what I mean? You're getting a stronger but not a bigger, then it's not based on the increase in fiber number. It's not, or the size of the individual fibers. It's not based on that. See what I mean? Because you aren't building any more muscle. See what I mean? It's being artificially induced by lifting a weight. And so that's the adaptation process, because you're increasing the motor unit and you are increasing the myocytic androgen receptors that control the strength. They control strength. Two things that control strength: the motor units and the myocytic androgen receptor controls that strength. But here's the thing: this really does control the strength. like the motor units, they help. You are recruiting motor units because they start activating. Look, it's the nervous system, okay? If you were to cut a nerve, you wouldn't be able to lift anything, would you? So the nervous system gets activated, but this really controls the strength, the myocytic androgen receptor, because they did tests on it. Because once they voluntarily took away the androgen receptor in the rats were weak. They couldn't do anything. Get it? They lost all strength in the limb muscles. So yeah. But here's the thing: what controls the mass of the limb muscles? Well, it's complicated. There's a thing here I brought up previously. It's in this thing called satellite cell fate. I'll bring it back up to the top just to show you the title. So if you scroll down, it says possible ways of activating satellites. So listen to the word. Possible ways of activating. Yeah, there's an activation, but which one will actually get the satellite cell to donate its nuclei to support further muscle growth? That's the question. See what I mean? There, you can stretch. They'll tell you here stretch. If you read this, it says satellites are supposed to rest when skeletal muscle is not active. Yeah. Their activation provides muscle mass maintenance. It does provide muscle mass maintenance. So sometimes you activate it, it can cause a maintenance. Yeah. Okay. Hypertrophy development or the recovery of injured muscle. Myosatellite activation can also be caused by strengthening exercise. Okay. So it comes from this section, muscle activity and the fate of myonuclei. So if you scroll down here where I was just now, sorry, I just lost that. I don't know why. Here's the thing, myonuclear reduction. You can read this. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I lost where I was. Let me go back there. Okay, so a satellite activation can also be caused by strengthening. Yeah, it's caused by strengthening exercise, but how is it caused by strengthening exercise? How? The eccentric part, they tell you here, a significant increase in the total number of satellites was shown on several models of compensatory hypertrophy in animals. Okay, after eccentric exercise in humans. They never say concentric. I wonder why. And during muscle stretching, okay, muscle stretching, I've done that. I've stretched my muscles, but it has to be a lot of stretching. It can't be that you stretched a couple of times, 2, 3 times, or 4 times. I sat in a session in a fucking martial arts class where we stretched our legs for I think it was over an hour period, more than an hour of stretching. Now, people go to the gym and they go, look, I'm stretching, I'm causing a stretch on my muscles. I'm going to go like this and I'm going to stretch. A couple of seconds is not enough. And you don't need weights to stretch muscles. You can stretch them, you can keep stretching them until they get damaged. The whole point is to get them to become damaged, but whatever, man. Anyways, physical activities such as resistance exercise or muscle functional overload, chronic stretch, synergistic. Yeah, you are getting a stretch because every time you're moving your arm in the eccentric concentric movement, that's a stretch, dude. And then it causes a break in the muscle called a micro tear or micro injury. But that only happens when muscles are untrained. And then they protect themselves after that. That's why what they're telling you here, it happens once and it never happens again because that's the protective effect. That is the adaptation process. It adapts by not damaging and then you don't build muscles anymore. It prevents you from damaging muscles and building muscles. Okay, so chronic stretch. That's the word you're looking for. Chronic stretch. Synergistic muscle removal and tenotomy. Injuries, muscle tissue, stimulation, muscle regeneration. Muscle damage causes an inflammatory response. We know it does cause an inflammatory response. Are muscles being damaged from hypoxia? Yeah, that's a type of damage. You go to the gym and hypoxic damage. You're trained now, you're getting hypoxia damage. It'll cause an inflammatory response too. But did it cause an injury to the muscle fiber? No, because they're protected from any more injuries. Therefore, in the injured area, the number of neutrophils and macrophages increases. It does. If you but it's not getting injured anymore. Then the inflammatory infiltrate the released by immune cells, or the injured fibers release the growth factors. See that? What do the injured fibers release? They release growth factors. Now, hypoxia, does it cause injuries to muscle fibers? No, it causes hypoxia damage. Now, does eccentric exercise cause injury to muscle fibers if they're untrained? Yeah. They're causing these injuries, get it? And then they release growth factors, regulating the proliferation and differentiation of what? Myosatellites, yes. Were shown to affect the satellite cell in vivo during the regeneration of injured muscles. See, me, I'm more into regenerating muscles, and it's really hard to regenerate muscles. Now, if you just want to go to the gym and lift a heavy weight, recruit motor units, and get these androgen receptors for force production, which is artificial anyways to begin with, go ahead. Go ahead and build up some artificial strength. You know that? There's nothing wrong with that. And then pretend that you're strong. Run around and, tell everybody you can lift a heavy weight. Tell that to a big, strong guy. Tell him that you can lift a heavy weight. And then tell him that you wanna wrestle with him. See who's stronger, the big, strong guy or you, if you're a little guy. The role in, and then they have this, the role in fibroblast growth factor and myosatellite activation has been shown to previously heptobonic growth, This tell you the regeneration part, man. This gets boring. Stimulate satellite cell activation, culture, vivo, whatever. The result, numerous experiments have shown the important role in insulin growth factor. Well, it is important there. In muscle hypertrophy development. Well, it kind of is, because it helps, right? They all go 2 in 1 there. IGF can stimulate, IGF, that's, you be an IGF-1 when you eat meat. Meat puts you in this IGF-1. I've put it in my community section before. Scroll down and read it. IGF can stimulate myocyte proliferation and differentiation in culture. Yeah, if you eat meat, then that's what it does. It stimulates IGF-1. Okay, it tells you that. Do you want me to bring it up for you? Don't believe me? Okay, man, whatever. This is what happens to these muscles. Myogenin, fusion, MyoD, whatever, precursors, damaged muscle fiber, activation signal, whatever. Look, I gotta go, man. This is getting boring now. IGF-1. Let me see if I can bring it up.
According to nutritionfacts.org, it took a study comparing meat eaters to vegans to show that higher IGF-1 levels were only associated with animal protein intake. In fact, plant protein seemed to decrease IGF-1 levels. Animal protein appears to send a much different signal to our livers than most plant proteins.
Now you know why vegans aren't building muscles, and why carnivore people, they build muscles. But then they're not building any more muscle, because I told you, man, it has an M&D size limit, so it doesn't really matter. It's protected from getting damaged and building any more muscle. Anyways, let's go on with this, man. This is not hard to understand.
People who ran the original one of that, and they were like, I literally went from a 200 squat for 5 to a 300 pound squat for 5, in like...
Sure, I went from 300 to 400 to 500. Look, man, it's kind of obvious. If you lift the weight, if you start lifting weights, you're going to get better at lifting weights. You understand me? Now, if you want to get better at doing accounting, what do? Well, you have to keep practicing at doing accounting, playing with numbers to get better at doing it. Yeah. If you want to get better at education in school, what do? You need to attend school and get good at doing that. Now, if you want to get good at doing jumping jacks and flying in the air and doing somersaults, then what do? You need to practice at fucking doing them. That's what. Duh.
6 months. Okay, that's crazy. Right, that is literally insane.
Look, you want to cause micro injuries to the muscle fiber without lifting weights? Just keep stretching the muscle. Stretch it. Put tension on it. A lot of tension. Do as many repetitions as you can. I don't know, holding something, maybe a plastic thing or something, pulling your arm back and forth. Some tension on your arm, some mechanical tension on your bicep, for example. Do as many repetitions for your bicep as you can handle. When I was young, I would do 200 I would move to 200 repetitions. I remember you had to go through a threshold. When you hit 50, it really hurt. Then by the time I hit 50, I would make it to 100. And then later, I would do 200 repetitions per set. I would just do one set of 200 repetitions straight, and I wouldn't do any more sets because there's something called repeated bout effect phenomenon. It protects muscle from a repeated bout of damage. So if you do it in that one session really quick, you'll get that damage and boom. And then my arms got big. I never really did that many of them. I remember being in the basement of my house and I just kept doing. I had these whisk bottles and they were filled with soap in them and I just used them. And I just kept doing these repetitions over and over again a couple of times. And then my arms got big really fast and I never did them again. You understand me? But I remember the pain that I went through after doing 200 repetitions. Jesus. It would hurt for days. I couldn't, that's why I couldn't lift. Dude, I couldn't lift after that for a whole week. Then I came back and then I did it again for another 200 repetitions. I would move from 200 to 250. And I think the last one would be all the way to 300. And then I wouldn't do them anymore. I just stopped. And then my arms got pretty big, actually. I don't know. It's like my chest. I remember my friend had this decline bench press, and then he had these dumbbells. And so I would just do I would do my lower chest. I would do up to 50 the first time I would do 50. I do 50 repetitions. Then I moved, and that was only one set. I would only do one set. I would get up to 50. That it would hurt. Then I try to manage to get to 200 with those same dumbbells. And it would really hurt. And then it would hurt for a week. And then I try to move for 200 repetitions. And then after just a couple of sets, my chest fucking got massive below the lower part of my chest. And I remember going to a swimming pool and this kid goes to me, "Hey man, you got a lot of muscle there, eh, mister?" Yeah, my chest, because I just did a couple of sets and that's it. It got fucking big because they tore apart and they repaired and remodeled bigger and stronger. See what I mean? But it became resilient from breaking. That's why you can do a high repetition set for the first set. And here's another thing. When you're young, you most likely will get this damage a lot easier and you grow better when you're younger than an older person, for sure.
That is insane. Well, not literally, it's figuratively. You guys know what I mean. Okay, but people did it on those programs. And, that becomes then the benchmark. And then people have this assumption that because progressive overload is part of your gains, that they're like, well, we should be making at least noticeable gains every single week. And if not every week, then at least every month. And if I haven't put weight.
So why aren't you making noticeable gains every week or every month or whatever, Blaha?
On the bar in 5 weeks, I must be plateaued. Okay? Right? And that's how they see it. But
why did you think it was going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever and forever?
That's simply not true, is it? And what people need to think about how slow a drug-free lifter gains muscle after the first few years in the gym.
That's a good one. How a drug-free lifter gains muscle? Well, people on drugs don't build muscles either because nothing bypasses myonuclear domain size limit. You understand me? It's beyond where the progenitor can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support what? Further muscle growth. That is the myonuclear domain limit. Dude. There's no more muscle to be built because it's protected now. It's protected from further assaults by repairing and remodeling itself stronger. And the repeated bout effect tells you this. There's no more damage after a repeated bout of exercise, eccentric exercise, because it is the adaptive effect. What fucking part does this guy, this brain dead lifter, does not understand?
When you're a novice, there have been actual data showing gaining up to a kilogram of muscle per month the first few months.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Unless you did something that you were unaccustomed to doing, an unaccustomed bout of exercise, will get this damage and it'll come back. And then, of course, when you do get that damage, here's another thing. When you do get that damage, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. If it doesn't, then you may not get anything there, you know. You may just destroy it. Or maybe you get a little bit there. But again, people confuse their muscles getting bigger with myofibrillar growth when it really is sarcoplasmic growth because you're eating carbohydrates. You can't stop eating your fake drug addict diet.
Absolutely be done. Can absolutely be done. You know, that's about 2 pounds, a little over 2 pounds for people who use Freedom.
I'm not saying it can't be done, but he's not doing it because he's not doing it. Why doesn't he do it? He keeps talking about it, but he doesn't do it. You understand me?
Units. Now, keeping in mind,
Look, he keeps lifting weights. Is Blaha getting bigger? He's lifting every day in the garage. Is he getting bigger? I don't lift. I don't go to the gym, bro. And I'm bigger than him, and I'm stronger than him. I'm bigger and I'm stronger, and I'm even getting over my nerve damage and my stenosis in my spine. So I'm going to blow this guy apart at 57 now, because now that I'm much better and I'm getting over the nerve problem that I had, I can really put in more effort. If I could put in at least 90 to 100% effort, more effort into my lifting, well, I'm able to bypass MNT size limit because I know how to. That's another thing. I don't want to be a lifting slave like him in the gym forever. See that? And I could lift heavier than him, and I'd be stronger than him, because the more micro tears I cause in my bone and my muscle, they becomes fucking stronger. They're resilient from anything. You can punch through walls, dude. Let me explain this. The more micro injuries you cause to your bone and your muscle fibers, they get fucking super strong. That's why they're so strong from getting damaged again with a second repeated bout. That's why a unique feature of untrained muscles is they get what? They get stiff and sore due to what? Muscle damage. Okay, what happens when muscles get damaged? What happens? They repair and what? They remodel. How? Stronger. Get it, dude? You understand me, man? And so the more sessions of repair and more damages you cause to your muscles and your bones, they get these micro injuries, the stronger they fucking get. And so you can fucking take on anybody. You understand me? You can take on the fucking world. Yeah. Now, do you have to lift the heaviest to be the strongest? No, not necessarily. You need to be the strongest physically, not just lifting a heavy weight. You understand me? But Blaha, he's weak. He suffers from he suffers from osteosarcopenia because he doesn't cause any micro injuries to any of his muscles or his bones. That's why he's so small. That's why he's complaining of small arms and everything. If he truly was growing, he wouldn't be complaining about being so small. And he wouldn't have to tell you, hey, my calves, the best part of my body is my calves and this and that. Meanwhile, he has no calves. He has no lats. He has no arms. He has nothing. He has nothing, man. Zero here, bro. Zero.
some of your initial gains are neural gains, but then after that, usually...
Yeah, I did it. I mentioned that. I already brought that up. Neural gains. And then it's androgen receptors. The gains are you're recruiting these fucking the nervous system artificially by lifting, but then it's based on androgen receptors where the androgens, they bind to it, giving you force production. You have to get more of them, and they widen.
Your progressive overload, once you have kind of settled into doing the kind of the rep scheme that you're doing on exercises, and you don't change.
Progressive overload doesn't bypass myonuclear domain limit.
Exercises, you don't really see a lot of motor pattern learning. You don't.
Yeah, progressive overload increases motor units artificially, and these myocytic androgen receptors for force production.
See a lot of neural drive. You don't see all these factors. If you've been doing heavy fives for a while on squats, or even heavy singles for a while on the back squat, right? You've kind of exhausted those, and at that point, you're simply maintaining that skill, right? That skill of lifting a heavy weight in that sort of intensity range.
That skill, it's not a skill. You're just lifting something. You're just a slave in a garage. You've enslaved yourself to this. You have been enslaved. And he is trying to enslave you and everybody else so that he can make money off you. He wants to enslave you to do the same stuff and enslave you to watch his videos. That's why he puts out 5 videos a day. He wants to enslave you to his videos and brainwash you and to becoming a lifting slave like him in a garage the rest of your life because he's ugly. Women are not interested in him. He's interested in lifting weights and torturing himself the rest of his life because women find him unattractive. Nobody's interested in him. Not even his channel. That's why he's in a garage and he's renting a room now. Nobody's interested in this or him.
On any given exercise, that's a skill. And if you change exercises, of course, you make quick progress again for a week or two. Why?
Nah.
Well, because it's a new movement. You're having to learn it.
No.
Right? And so there's a learning curve.
No.
But it doesn't mean that you're actually getting stronger at the muscular level. It just means that you're learning.
Why does that's why he focused on bodybuilding. He thinks that's going to make women attracted to him. That's why he keeps telling you, I go to the market and look at all these women. They drool over my arms. They tell me, wow, look at those nice arms you have and that chest, and look at those nice legs and everything. You think women are complimenting him on the way he looks? That's why he has to wear a shirt that says deadlift on it, because you'd never know he deadlifted.
Something new. But if you're still doing that same movement, you're then reliant upon muscle mass. And stop and think about the muscle.
You want to get yourself as brutally strong as possible. So you want to do as many unaccustomed bouts of exercise so that you can bring back this damage, so that you can repair and remodel your muscles bigger and stronger. So you're super fucking jacked and strong. Get it? Your bones and your muscles. Yeah.
Growth involved with a kilogram of muscle, right? Because a lot of times that's done, and then people are like, I was putting at least 5 pounds a week on my lift, so that's like 20 pounds.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares.
So that's like 20 pounds. Okay, that's 20 pounds. So let's say you put 20 pounds on your squat in a month. Now that's done quicker in the first couple of months, but once you've been running a program like that, it slows down, right? And before long, it starts getting to where, 10 pounds or about 5 kilograms becomes your normal for a month. And sometimes that can be sustained for several months. But that's once the neural component is done. And now we're just...
No. He's got it confused about neural components based on androgen receptors. The neural component is just the motor units being recruited all the way across all muscle fibers. But it's the androgen receptors that widen, and you can get more of them where the androgens bind, giving you that force production, like it said there in PubMed or NCBI. You understand me, man? And so when you don't lift, the androgen receptors, they shrink, or they go away. You understand me? They go away.
Using muscle growth to drive the progression. In other words...
Okay, so muscle growth to drive the progression. Well, you're not building any more muscle. That's the problem. It would be nice to increase more natural muscular strength without, and not being a slave to the androgen receptors and the motor units recruitment. Yeah, it would be good, actually, yes. But they recruit anyways. Anytime you move something, they recruit. When you turn the knob on your doorway with the key to open the door to your home, you're recruiting motor units. So what do you think you're doing there exactly? Hello?
As you gain muscle from the training hard, your ability to lift more weight.
You gaining muscle from the training hard? You don't gain muscle from training hard. You gain muscle in the beginning when you're untrained. That's why it's a unique feature of untrained muscles. They get stiff and sore and they get damaged. That's why it's a unique feature. Untrained muscles get damaged. But trained muscles, they don't get damaged. Get it, broski?
For the same amount of reps goes up. So you think about that 2 pounds of muscle growth that a novice might be gaining, right? If that translates to...
He's not. He gained it in the beginning and then he never gets it again. I know because I've seen young people come in the gym and they got their gains in the beginning, that first week or something. And then they go, hey, they're not gaining anymore. Their shirt gets a little, they're wearing this little shirt and then it's tight on them now. Oh, look, the shirt's tight on me now. But they never outgrow the shirt. They never outgrow it.
10 pounds on the bar, on a big lift. Like a small lift, probably not. It might only translate to 1 pound on a curl or a tricep extension or
Yeah, of course, they get discouraged and then they start eating a lot of carbohydrates. They go, I got to eat a bulk diet now. I need to get fat. They get fat. That's how they get big. Everybody's getting fat. Everybody's fat out there. They're all fat. That's why they're jealous of these people when they see them online. They're like ripped and stuff. They're like so low body fat, looking sexy and hot. And they're like, what am I doing wrong? And they're in a perpetual, endless loop of failure of bulk diets. Eating donuts to build muscles, and donuts don't build muscles. They don't get over a nuclear domain size limit.
whatever. Well, once you've been training a few years,
Oh, yeah.
gaining a couple pounds of muscle could take you 6 months. It could take you 12 months. That's just the nature of muscle growth. It's on a diminishing.
No. It doesn't take you 6 months or any months. It takes you that first week or two to build it, and then it doesn't. It'll still a little bit. It's still in a repair and a remodeling building stage, but it's not building anymore, man. It's not building.
Return. So if it
Diminishing returns. It's diminished right away. That first week, yeah.
takes you 6 to 12 months to gain 2 full pounds of muscle, you should
What kind of muscle? Sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar growth, Blaha?
expect about a 10-pound increase on your 5-rep max or your 8-rep max.
5-pound increase on your 5-rep max. A 5-pound increase. And what's that due to? You think it was due because you built muscles? Okay, if you built muscle and you built muscle, then you should have that strength. That strength should be there. Okay, go away from the gym for quite a long time. Come back and see if you could lift that heavy weight that you've been lifting, a heavier weight. No, you can't. You didn't build any muscle. You built very little muscle there, if anything.
Or your 10-rep max.
Whatever.
Well, how about those smaller movements, 1 or 2 pounds in 6 to 12 months? So realistically, if you can curl 50 pounds
Yeah.
for 10 strict reps and then you fail on the 11th,
Okay.
how much overall size are you going to have to gain before your biceps themselves get big enough to increase that to 55? Or to be able to get 12 or 13 reps?
That's a great question.
Well, that's like 6 months worth of work, or a year. Same thing on your other movements. Putting 10 pounds on your bench or your squat is 6 months to a year, depending upon, what you're doing with your diet and everything.
Wow, really? Okay.
Are you really
And why do I need to put all that? Why do I need to pull that down? How's that going to help me in ice skating or playing ice hockey or basketball or swimming or climbing or playing tennis or any of these sports? How's that going to help me? Why do I need that? Why do I need that? I know people that they don't lift weights and they do a lot of sports, dude. All kinds of different sports. Has nothing to do with weightlifting.
plateaued, or are you just growing that slow? In other words, 10 pounds, if it takes you a year, that is less than a pound a month being added to, say, your 5 or your 8 rep set. That is less than a pound.
That was a waste of time trying to get good at lifting weights, pretending you're strong. It's better to get physically strong by repeatedly damaging your bones and your muscle fibers and getting them to repair and remodel stronger. That's it. That's all. That's all there really is. And that's based on regeneration.
And that comes out to even over 6 months, 5 pounds. So if you're stuck at
He looks weak, you know that? Me, I looked strong. When I was young, I looked strong because I went through repeated bouts of these injuries. That's what I did. I kept injuring my muscle and my bone until I got what I wanted, and I got super strong. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be the guy in the gym. I have to lift 700-800 pounds off the floor or something. Like, I have to be the guy showing off lifting 700 pounds. The only difference between steroid guys is that they have fake muscles like Larry Wheels, eating at the Golden Griddle and gaining 50 pounds in 1 week, eating at the Golden Griddle, eating potato sauce, eating fucking slave food diet and creating fake muscles, walking around fucking with junk weight, and then injecting strength in himself, injecting strength, liquid fucking plant strength, plant fucking hormones, and then lifting 700 pounds off the floor. Ha, whatever.
You can't get more than 5 reps
That's what Blaha does.
with that weight. Well, yeah, it should take you 5 or 6 months at that point.
Oh yeah, sure it does. Yeah, sure it should.
That's literally what it should take. That's not a plateau. That just means you're not gaining muscle. And then guys are like, well, it must mean I just need to bulk fast.
Oh, that's an MND size limit. That's what that is. Plateau.
Well, yeah, that'll create some extra leverages, some extra
You just don't know how to get over MND size limit. That's your problem.
some extra water retention and stuff, but it's not necessarily gaining more muscle. And on some lifts, that'll cut the range of motion. It'll make the squish better out of the squat. It'll maybe reduce the range of motion to your bench because you get a little fatter.
Look, man, just eat a lot of carbohydrates and do what Blaha's doing, and you'll build these fake muscles, okay?
Thicker. But hey, is it really due to extra muscle growth? Probably not. So people need to understand that when you've been training a while, progress is still can be linear. People will say, well, it's not going to be linear. It is. It's just going to be much, much, much slower. And every year, it's going to go slower and slower and slower. And that's okay. We need to understand and we need to...
You can't keep growing and growing and growing muscles doing the same exercises. They're adapted. That's the whole point. From getting damaged. Jesus.
accept that, and people need to not panic every time. Man, I haven't been able to add a rep in 2 months. I haven't been able to add 5 pounds for my 5s or my 6s or 8s in 2 months. I must be completely plateaued. I need to change something. No, you need to be patient.
No. Yeah, these people are patient. They keep lifting in hopes of getting a different outcome, doing the same stuff over and over again forever. You are not building any muscle. Get it, bro, man? You are weak. You are weak. Unless you're damaging these muscle fibers, or unless you're getting it to come back somehow, you're a weakling. And you're getting weaker all the time. You understand me? You people are all weak. Me personally, I'm finally a lot better with my nerve problems. So I'm moving more again. I'm going to start moving for muscle damage again, doing a lot of unaccustomed bouts of exercises so that I can get more of a repair and remodeling in my muscle and my bones. So I want to get super strong again. I don't want to be like him, a lifting slave in a garage, dude.
Putting in the work, keep making sure that your volumes are sufficient, your recovery is sufficient, your diet is sufficient, and just keep being consistent and be patient.
Yes, that's a good factory worker. Keep lifting every day in the garage.
All right, guys.
Don't forget to sign the sign-in sheet. It's on the wall there, Blaha.
But that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys.
Thank God, man. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. This guy's ridiculous.